guys, when you're right, you're right. And I just got to go ahead and say this. The critical drinker is 100% correct. Nobody cares.
Here's where you live. Do you really think there's people out there that are deeply invested in keeping you in the same zip codes? Like, if you threaten to never appear in any movies or show your face in public ever again, I guess that might be something a bit more meaningful, but then that would actually mean putting your career on the line. No more big paychecks, no more private jets, no more awards ceremonies where you sniff each other's farts and talk about how good it smells. And we all know you'd never do that, because if you don't have fame and attention anymore, what do you really have left to keep you going? And now that it actually is all over, I wonder how many of those people are actually going to go through with it anyway. Probably about the same number who left the country 8 years ago when the same exact thing happens.
That right there was just a small bit from a video that the Critical Drinker released that's, I think, got right around 2.5, 3 million views. And of course, we're talking about Hollywood, but it's not just Hollywood that we're discussing. It's also certain people in a certain industry, the old rock industry, a bunch of has-beens who honestly don't really have any real true career prospects going forward and have kind of faded away. But still, they feel the need to lecture the country on how they feel and why it is that we're wrong for voting the way that we voted. And also something else, too. A certain former wrestler who helped destroy a certain wrestling company who also needs to be put in this place too. Yes, I'm talking about Kevin Nash. It's not just Hollywood that lectures America. It's pretty much all popular culture that likes to lecture America because we don't see the world the way they see the world. And one more thing about Kevin Nash. I've noticed that the viewership on his channel, Click This, has gone down. I've noticed that. And of course, I was listening to Click This at one point in time, even with Kevin Nash's very, very bad takes. The guy who interviews him on his podcast is absolutely terrible, absolutely egregious. If I want to listen to a wrestling podcast, there's a reason why it is I gravitate more towards, even though I don't agree with a lot of what Bruce Pritchard says, there's a reason why I gravitate towards him. There's a reason why it is that I gravitate towards someone like, say, JR, Jim Ross. There's a reason why I gravitate towards Ric Flair's podcast. They typically tend not to insult their fans. If you did not think that I was going to do this video without going after Jim Cornette, you would be absolutely wrong. Jim Cornette is very, very left-wing. He decided to release this video basically saying that anybody who voted for Donald Trump was dumb and stupid. We understand it. We get it, Jim. We get it. You're a left-wing loser, okay? We get that. And yes, I do agree with Cornette when it comes to the topic of Vince Russo. Yes, I do. I agree with him mightily. But anybody who holds on to that grudge for the better part of 30 to 40 years has got some serious problems. Do us all a favor and piss the fuck off. Of course, you've also got Kevin Nash, who is still sporting the Harris Walls hat, which in reality, Kevin Nash... I think that Kevin Nash is just jilted that he can't ruin another company. I mean, ever since they ruined WCW, his legacy has been tarnished. And I think that Kevin Nash is finding himself to be more and more withdrawn from regular people. It's actually sad to see him devolve. But of course, you can't really talk about him without talking about the other left-wingers who love to lecture us, X-Pac in particular. I know I'm going off topic here by talking about WWE wrestlers, but of course, these are people that you just don't need to take seriously. Now, guys, before we get started, I want you to know this first and foremost. This is probably going to be the only other video that gets released today. I'm probably going to double up the content on Thursday and Friday because there is a lot of information coming out, a lot of stuff to report on. And as I said before, I want to go ahead and kind of end the year with a bit of a bang and go ahead and finish up with the whole election post-mortem stuff and looking at how the left copes before I fully decide to transition this content coming next year to where we're going to focus more on the crap that happens in pop culture and sports. And of course, there's even going to be some test videos that are going to be thrown out there as well, but I'll probably cover that in another video, probably an actual updates video, or I'll probably cover that on the Thanksgiving video that I have planned because, of course, you guys know me. Every time a holiday comes up, I always release a Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, or a like I did recently, a Happy Veterans Day, Happy Marine Corps birthday video, which of course I will link in the description box. I advise you guys go check out because the second half of the video, I kind of go into what I want to do for the channel going forward. And of course, just being tired of politics as a whole. But still though, it's something that's got to be talked about. So let us go ahead and get into it. So what have we been hearing out of Hollywood? What have we been hearing out of actors really since, I would say, probably 2009? Yes, it's actually been going on that long. It just so happens to be that when these people opened up Twitter and Facebook and created their own accounts for people to follow, they began to show you who the hell they really were. We've had to get lectured by these people, and I'm talking lectured at a ridiculous rate. Now these people are saying, once again, we will move out of America if Trump wins. One person who apparently recently said something about this was Garth Brooks, somebody that whose music I used to listen to, still listen to from time to time when I can. But of course, if you want to talk about sellouts, let's talk about Garth Brooks. Is this really the same guy who said that my music collection is no longer open to anybody to have except for Walmart? Is this the same guy who also is, how do I say this? He's also told everybody that you can't put my music on iTunes. Yeah. Garth is not exactly somebody that we need to take seriously. The guy's got FU money, and his wife, Trisha Yearwood, is probably the only one in the crowd that's sane. Of course, they're talking about moving to Ireland, and I say, go right ahead. Of course, those in the rock world, the old rock world, 70s, 80s, 90s, yeah, those people there. Now, guys, before I get back to what the drinker was saying earlier, I think we need to talk about rock. And, of course, by rock, I'm talking about somebody that Razorfist made a video on not too long ago, a dehydrated nutsack like Dee Snider.
But I thought he had a pretty classy response to the entire situation. This is what he said before the election. He said, "Today is the day. Trump doesn't have even close to a majority. If he wins, it means people lost sight of the big picture and either didn't vote or protest voted. That's still a vote for Trump. If that's what the American people want, so be it. I will accept it, but I pray it isn't." And so early this morning, he shared his reaction to the election results, saying, "Well, I was very wrong. The American people have spoken. I accept their choice." Bad Wolves and God forbid guitar.
I'm glad to see that Dee was so gracious, but still at the same time, nobody gives a lot of crap about what you think, bro. Nobody cares. But then you get Sebastian Bach of Skid Row.
Vocalist Sebastian Bach, who was furious about the results and had quite the response to, I guess, his candidate not winning the election. Here's what he said. Sebastian Bach, who has been a vocal supporter of Vice President Harris, was outraged by the election results. He said, "America," in his post on X. Again, you've seen so many different people, whether they voted for Trump or not, that have just responded saying, hey, you know, it is what it is. He won the election, and Sebastian Bach hates America now. He doesn't like America because things didn't go his way. Seems crazy to me, especially given how much success he has had throughout his life in the U.S. But he didn't stop there. He said, "I don't want to be here anymore." To which a fan said, "Don't tell me you're going to move. Please don't. I love you and your music." He said, "This place sucks now." He added, "What the is wrong with you people?" And then another tweet saying goodbye. Now, I'm not sure if he meant goodbye to America or goodbye to Twitter, but we know it's not Twitter because he just put out another post in response to this, and this was his message. At the end of the day, rock and roll is all you got. And of course, there are plenty of artists who are also celebrating the victory of Donald Trump.
I think the last time I heard of Sebastian Bach, I want to say that he had put on a lot of weight like Axl Rose, somebody who's actually been quiet, but still at the same time, you are our entertainment, okay? You work for us, okay? Without us, without us paying for the ticket, without us paying for, you quite frankly don't have a career. Look, I understand these people had talent, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe they don't have talent, but still, you don't seem to understand the golden rule. You don't want to piss off your audience. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be political, and don't worry, we'll talk about sports here soon because you got Ryan Clark, he's an idiot. You got Nick Wright, who he's also an idiot too. We'll be talking about them a little bit later on this week. The fact of the matter is that we're paying for your career. We don't want to be lectured by you. But like I said, that right there is kind of the theme of this video, and we got more to go. Did Twisted Sister have a song outside of I Want to Rock or We're Not Going to Take It? Seriously. And I understand that Dee Snider was instrumental in the 1980s with the whole Tipper Gore, Al Gore thing where they were questioning these guys about the musical lyrics. We'll probably talk about that topic on the History Channel I plan on having because, of course, it's actually a very, very good story. Just know that the apple has definitely fallen far from the tree. Just know that the change has, in fact, occurred. This is what happens when you get bought and paid for. Just saying. Okay, Sebastian then leave. Oh, wait, that's right. He can't leave. He's broke. He's got no money. He can't go anywhere. These people are old, past their prime. They have no prospects in life. They are people who I think are personally, I just believe, are jilted by society. They're jilted by the fact that nobody listens to them anymore. Skid Row, by the way, and I know somebody's probably going to say, how the hell do you know Skid Row? You didn't grow up in that time frame. And my response to that is, I grew up listening to 70s and 80s music. My father was a big-time Elvis Presley fan, and from Elvis Presley, it eventually turned into the Beatles, the Stones, and then I eventually grew and found out that 70s and 80s rock was way better than the crap that was being released in the 90s. I still listen to a good part of it, which makes me feel really old, but at the same time, though, if you were listening to classics before stuff from the 90s and early 2000s became classics, chances are you're a special type of breed. So, yeah, I wear that badge of honor. The fact of the matter is nobody cares about these people. They are exactly what Razorfist said in his video about Dee Snider, dehydrated nutsacks. That right there is what the hell these people are. Nobody cares about these people. Nobody cares what these people think. You are simply entertainers. Why the hell would we take you seriously? But then we get back to the drinker and we listen to him make the same points that I just made, except he made them in a different way. However, I'm here to also convey a different point of view here that a lot of people did not miss about Hollywood and why it is that nobody takes these people seriously, and exactly how it is that it affects relationships when people choose to bring these people up. But let's watch.
Even managed to persuade the Avengers cast to do a totally authentic Zoom call where they gushed about how much they loved Chosen Candidate.
Hi, you guys. Hi, Avengers.
Hi.
Thanks
Hey,
for
Scarlett.
jumping on the call.
Whoa. I think you mean assembling. I said
Wow.
assembling. Don, that's pretty good. No, they thought it was funny.
Oh my goodness, this is almost as authentic as Brie Larson's YouTube channel. Everything from the empty threats to leave the country to the half-hearted monotone endorsements where you could practically see the dump trucks full of money depositing their load in the background, to the endless Twitter posts ranting about how the Orange Man is going to blow up the world or something. It all just came across as so fake and hollow and out of touch. Just another performance by people who spend their whole lives pretending to be someone else. And when that's your job, when that's literally the only thing people know you for, it's kind of hard for them to take you seriously when you're trying to be all earnest and authentic.
Exactly. Let me tell you guys a quick story right quick before we go any further, because like I said, a lot of people have reacted to this video, and a lot of people have not only reacted to this video, but a lot of people obviously have made videos reacting to the video and also laughing at and adding their content, adding their commentary to it. And I figured I'd add a little bit more, but let me go ahead and just tell you guys a quick little story before we go any further, because this right here is kind of sort of what I mean by nobody cares what Hollywood thinks. Well, for the exception of a very, very few people, and I think they use it as a punchline. I was in Florida back in 2018, all right, staying at a friend of mine's house. This person is pretty left-wing. When they're not talking about politics, they're the greatest person in the world. This person has obviously made some adjustments since. Not going to say any names or anything like that, but this person watches the video. They know who the hell they are. And quite frankly, I don't care if they get upset or not. I'm talking being beaten down with, well, it was all the uneducated people who voted for Trump, all that normal crap that liberals throw at people. And I'm just kind of like, you know what, I'm in a state I've never been to before. I got beautiful women out here at the beach. I've got good weather. I would like to enjoy that. But of course, the liberals always find a way to make everybody's life a living misery. And eventually, and you know, these people just can't take a hint. You know, I just don't want to talk. I just want to kind of enjoy my life because for the most part, conservatives, if we lose an election, we just move on. That's the real truth about conservatives. But of course, you know, they got to use that one date against us, which of course, when you start to actually look into, which I'm pretty sure we're going to get some answers on here soon. Don't worry, the Trump second term video will be out probably tomorrow because that's a big video I want to get out there. But the thing is, it's right here. This same person would utilize, well, you used to like Robert De Niro. You used to be a big fan of Robert De Niro. This person had not talked to me since 2013, 2014 timeframe. I did not care about De Niro movies since because post 2000, I would say post the film Meet the Fockers, De Niro had not done a film, in my opinion, that was actually any good. It's true, he was one of my favorite actors. And there are some actors that I do like that are very, very liberal who disagree with my worldview that I still think are pretty good. For example, I still like Al Pacino. I still like Martin Sheen. Even some musicians. Bruce Springsteen, as much as this SOB runs his mouth about anything right of far left, I still like his old music. Like I said, I grew up on older music. Even John Bon Jovi, too. But still, at the same time, it's the lecturing. It's the fact that these people are out of touch. That right there is the biggest problem here. You are in no position to tell us how to live our lives or even vote. And once social media became active for these people, and once they got on social media, we began to find out who these people really and truly were. Let's continue.
Media gave us an unparalleled insight into the minds, and I'm using that term pretty loosely here, of our favourite icons of the big screen. But instead of making them more accessible and giving them a new platform to influence the masses, all it really did was lift the curtain on how dull, mundane, petty and needy so many of them are. Driven by a constant need for attention and validation, parroting the same predictable and safe talking points, or trying to shill the overpriced crap that they've decided to slap their name on. The more they tried to act like regular people, the more fake they ended up looking. The relevance and respect they command has been declining for years now, and it's been reflected in the creator and viewing figures for all their big awards shows, which had gradually devolved into political soapboxes that nobody was interested in listening to. Things only got worse during the unspecified virus of unknown origin, where celebrities had never looked more preachy, arrogant, and out of touch with reality. Yeah, sure, you guys sit in your $20 million mansions in Beverly Hills with private gyms, hot tubs, and acres of land to walk around and tell the rest of us why we have to stay indoors in one-bedroom apartments because we're all in this together.
Yeah. You live up on the hillside away from the plebs. You live up on the hillside away from us. But I think these people are finally starting to realize this.
You guys must have been crying into your champagne while all this was going on. I honestly don't know how you made it through. But holy shit, I think this is the year when any shred of cultural influence they had just went right out the window, and I think they know it. There was like 24 hours of complete radio silence after the election. I mean, even Mark Hamill couldn't think of anything to say, and normally you can't get that guy to shut the fuck up about politics. It was like the whole celebrity ecosystem had just taken a giant slap to the face and simply couldn't come to terms with it. Well, that is why I'm here to help. Now, this is going to be a bitter pill to swallow, Hollywood people, but just like Tatiana, swallow you must. And not to worry, because Dr. Drinker is here to administer your medicine. The cold hard truth here is that nobody gives a fuck about your political opinions anymore. You are some of the least qualified...
Mark Hamill, one of the most outspoken. And by the way, I want to say this right quick about Mark Hamill, and I know this is probably going to piss some Star Wars fans off, but quite frankly, I don't really give a shit. The only acting credit that Mark Hamill has in a famous film outside the original Star Wars trilogy, and by God, if anybody has an axe to grind against Hollywood, it should be Mark Hamill for what they did to Luke Skywalker in the new trilogy, is the film The Big Red One. Yes, I know he was the Joker. Yes, I know he's done some voice acting credits. Great, awesome, phenomenal. But really, outside the film The Big Red One, where he starred with Lee Marvin as the character Griff, you know, the soldier who didn't want to kill in the early part of the film, but then was later on, was the actual true killer of the bunch. He hasn't been in anything. He hasn't been in shit. The only reason why Mark Hamill has been brought back up recently is because of the fact of the brand new Star Wars trilogy. And of course, Mark Hamill's had some very, very nasty takes since then. And like I said, I don't think I need to go back to that there, because if anybody was jilted by a fucking studio, it was Mark Hamill. But of course, he takes the fact that he's jilted by the world, and he comes out here and loves to crap on everybody else. Another person who, quite frankly, has ran his mouth a little bit too much is Bryan Cranston. He's been awfully quiet here recently. Maybe you people should, in fact, be quiet. But of course, these people don't seem to realize is that the fans also understand them better than they themselves do.
Normal people. You don't work normal jobs. You don't live normal lives. You exist in a nice, comfortable bubble that protects and insulates you from reality, where you're surrounded by other people just like yourselves. And the thing is, we don't actually hate you for that. There's nothing wrong with being rich and successful if you've earned it. And part of being rich and successful is that you end up getting a bit detached from the mundane reality of daily life. Again, we understand. And let's be honest, it's kind of fucking cool to be an actor. You guys get to do stuff and go places that most of us could never dream of. And we're happy to cheer and boo the characters that you play. We're happy to be captivated by the performances you deliver. We're happy to listen to you talk about your craft and share stories and insights into what it's like making movies. But what we're not prepared to do anymore is be lectured by you, or told what causes we're supposed to support by you, or how to think and vote by you. This next bit is going to take a bit of humility and self-reflection, which I realise are two qualities you're not exactly hot on, but it's time to shut the fuck up about this stuff. It's none of your business, it's not your area of expertise, and it never was. Learn that lesson and you might just get back the respect and attention that you want. Learn it not, and well, you might just find out how fickle a mistress fame really is.
Correct. We know you live in houses above the hill. We know that you're detached from reality. But the more and more and more you talk about our reality and tell us how to live our reality, the more and more pissed we get. So do us all a favor and shut the hell up and leave us the hell alone. With that right there being said, guys, make sure you guys please hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, sound off in the comment section, and I'll see you guys later.